Hello, everyone. It's Wednesday, December the 13th, and we got a bunch of stuff to go through. And let's get at it, and we'll get through this. Today I'm appointing a new judge to the 13th Judicial Circuit Court serving Kanawha County. It gives me great honor to do this, but at the same time with regret. But I am appointing Dave Hardy, and Dave will do a phenomenal job. The regret is just this. Dave has done an amazing job as our Secretary of Revenue. And I've worked hand in hand with Dave on many projects, and it's been a lot of fun, but it's been very, very successful. So, I have every confidence in the world that Dave will certainly bring not only his amazing hairstyle to the judgeship, but he will do an incredible job. Here's a man that I have all the confidence in the world in, and Dave, you've done so good in your position here, and I'm sure this is just another step forward in life, and so go do it and go do amazing stuff. He's been in law practice for 33 years, and I don't know how you could possibly put a person in a position like this that has more experience. So Dave, congratulations, and go to it. Now, to cover this amazing agency and all the great people, whether it be, Mark or Mike or just all the different people that are there and all the great work that they do, today I am appointing Larry Pack. And Larry, is a senior advisor in our office here. He's an accountant. He does amazing work all the time right here and everything as acting secretary of the Department of Revenue. And there's no point in me going through all the different stuff about Larry. Larry's surely a proven leader and has got his act together, knows how to work numbers and work them, correctly and accurately and everything. And he'll do a wonderful job. And so I congratulate him as well. Okay, today I'm issuing a proclamation in accordance with the President's proclamation ordering that all United States and West Virginia flags on all our state-owned facilities throughout the state to be lowered to half-staff on December the 19th in honor of an incredible woman, Sarah Day O'Connor, and as our Supreme Court Justice and everything that we lost. And Kathy and I, again, express our deepest sympathies and everything, but this lady changed the world, and so we all miss her, and nevertheless, this is the respectful thing to do. I'm also announcing today that the application period for the governor's schools of West Virginia is now open and can be accessed online and through the West Virginia Department of Education. Lots and lots of good stuff here, for our high schoolers and everything to absolutely be accepted into this and honored by this school. So the governor's schools are now open for your applications online, and so go online and check it out and everything. It's an incredible honor. Okay, at 4 o'clock today, we'll be cutting a ribbon to a major highway project in Bluefield, West Virginia. Now, let's talk about this just a second. There's 3 roads in the state of West Virginia that I want so badly, and I have put so much emphasis on, because they're the bridges, the primary bridges that really bring all kinds of goodness to this state. And those are the King Cole Highway, the Coalfield Expressway in the southern part of the state, and Corridor H. Now let's just talk about it just one second. Not only have we put emphasis on it, but we've made progress, real progress. And we're absolutely continuing to push to make more and more progress on those highways. Those highways, King Cole Highway and the Coalfield Expressway, bring the southern part of the state of West Virginia into being in lots of ways. I mean, it's beautiful beyond belief, but really and truly we have we've gone off and neglected southern West Virginia in many ways, not me, maybe past administrations and everything, and we need now, and we have done so through my administration, and we're going to continue to do so until I run through the finish line at the very end. With all that being said, those highways bring us and bridge southern West Virginia to the world. Now let's talk a second about Quarter H. Quarter H links us directly to population centers like you can't imagine. And with all that, so much economic development can be right at our fingertips. We're close. We're close on Quarter H. We've made real progress, on our Coalfield Expressways and King Coal highways. And with all that being said, we're on the books and we continue to work and everything, and that's what we're going to do. So absolutely, at the end of the day, these highways are at the top of the list with me. Now, does that mean that there isn't all kinds of other highways that are absolutely at the top of the list? Surely. Surely they are. But these three, are really important. We built a bridge, I don't know how long ago, but decades ago. We built a bridge over in the Princeton area, in the Bluefield area, and it just sat there going nowhere. Everybody forevermore called it the bridge to nowhere. Well, today we're cutting a ribbon, and we're going to tie not only that bridge and highway to our airport over there, and it absolutely will bridge us towards more and more and more economic development in that area. So if you happen to live in the Bluefield, Princeton area or over there and everything, at 4 o'clock, come out and show your support for a project that Kanawha Stone did and a lot of great work and everything. And so we're on our way. We're on our way. Okay, Kathy continues to do neat stuff in communities and schools, like I've said 10,000 times. I don't know how there could be a program anywhere that has been more successful than this program, but they're placing these therapy dogs in schools. Two more got just placed. One of them on Friday, the First Lady had the privilege of introducing Nutter, which is a chocolate lab, to Ravenswood High School in Jackson County. And yesterday, they announced Meadow had arrived at Washington Lands Elementary School in Marshall County. So literally, I can tell you so many stories. I've got to tell you this real quick, but there's a little kid at Pineville, and that little kid, Shirley is this big-time special needs kid, and there's a picture, of him sitting, and bless his heart, he's restricted to a wheelchair in a lot of different ways and everything. But with all that being said, there's a little yellow lab laying in the floor there, and he's basically reading to the lab, I think. And so, in the picture, one of the things that the school principal or someone told Kathy. He really was having a time, that he really maybe didn't really look forward to or didn't want to come to school. And now he's there. And his comment on that little dog, when he started developing that relationship was best, gosh, dog, I got to get my act together here. Best day ever. So with all that being said, congratulations, Kathy, and all the folks that are helping. And, we want to continue to try to do everything we possibly can for our kids. A lot of times kids are really, really hurting and everything, and this helps. But we want to do everything we possibly can. And so congratulations on doing a lot of good stuff. We want to recognize a lady. Her name is Sarah Alderson. And she is the owner of the Alderson store, and she's been working really hard over the past 6 years to make something like this possible. I want to tell you about an amazing initiative that just started, and it's called the annual holiday children's book drive in Greenbrier County, West Virginia. You know, this lady has this store in a little community, a beautiful little community right on the Greenbrier River in Alderson and everything. And this was a huge undertaking for her. But now, you know, as she continues to do this children's book drive, now, and I want to tell everybody about this, so if you can jump in and help Sarah Alderson, it'd be really, really good. But she needs 300 more she needs 300 more books by December the 20th. And you can help her by buying books at the Alderson store or reaching out to Sarah on Facebook, and you can really help her. So let's jump in. Let's jump in West Virginia and help this great lady who's doing this initiative and everything to help our kids and just more good stuff. Now, the next thing is day before yesterday. I mean, the days are running together with me, my gracious sakes. But I chaired the West Virginia School Building Authority and everything, and I proudly voted for the historic approval of, now get this, $111 million in doing renovations and building new schools across the state. You know, there were 19 projects that were approved and awarded at that time and everything. I congratulate all the folks, you know, that are involved in our education departments and education processes and everything. Paul Harvey, Paul Hardesty. I don't know how I came up with Paul Harvey, but I can tell you a story about that in a second too. But anyway, Paul, Paul's close to my size. And so before we left, Paul sat on my lap and told me what he wanted Santa to bring him for Christmas and everything. But it's a lot of good stuff. Paul's done an amazing job. You know, Andy Neptune, what great work that they're doing at SBA, and all the folks that are helping pull the rope. 19 projects all across our state, all kinds of renovations and new schools on the way for our kids. Can't be better in my book. And you know, the only thing I'd tell you about Paul, I was thinking about Paul Harvey. Lots of you are probably way too young to remember Paul Harvey, but Paul Harvey was on the radio, and President Reagan at the time was in his 7th year as our president. And I loved him totally to death. He's amazing president and everything. And all of a sudden he got in a real pickle with this Iran-Contra stuff and all that kind of stuff. And Paul Harvey came on and said, the Democrats have been trying to convince the American people for 7 years that Ronald Reagan didn't know what he was doing. You know, because Ronald Reagan came out and said, you know, about the pickle that happened in regard to that, he said, I just messed up. I really don't know why I did it, you know, but I just messed up. That's all there is to it. He didn't try to lie his way out of it or anything like a lot of politicians do. He just said, I just messed up. You know, I mean, for crying out loud, we do make mistakes. And Paul Harvey said, for 7 years, the Democrats have been trying to convince the American people that Ronald Reagan didn't know what he was doing. Now he finally admits it, and they say he's lying. You know, so I don't know. I was telling somebody about that. So Paul Hardesty, I got a little confused with Paul Harvey, but nevertheless, great work. Keep doing the great work, and thank you, Paul Harvey, you know, for all the great work that you did over the years, and we miss you, and we pray for you in every way, and thank you for all that you gave each and every one of us. Okay, the buck season, the electronic checking system indicates that there were 45,155 deer, antlered deer harvested in our 2-week gun season. Our muzzle loading season is right now with us and everything, and it'll be in until December the 17th. But let me just say this real quick. You know, because we don't need to be hung up on the number of bucks we killed or harvested or whatever it may be. We need to be hung up on just this, and if you'll go back and research this, I won't be far off. But I think in 1923 or somewhere along in there, we had our first deer season in West Virginia. And if I remember correctly, there were about 30, and I've said it right, 30 deer killed in West Virginia. Now think about it. And then we went a few years, then we closed it to where we didn't have enough deer to even think about having a hunting season. And then lo and behold, now today, with all the different deer that are harvested, antlered, antlerless, all the different, deer harvested with gun, bow, muzzle loader, or whatever it may be, I think the grand total of all of it, significantly exceeds 100,000 deer. Remember, 1923 or whatever it may be, first deer season we had 30. And then we closed it and everything. It is unbelievable what the folks in wildlife and everything have done and have given us the beauty and all the great stuff that the hunting experience is all about, but not only that, just the nature of absolutely an incredible deer herd. And now we're doing the same thing. We're about to do more and more great stuff with our elk herd. Think about the introduction, basically, of our wild turkeys back all across our state. It's amazing. It is truly, truly, truly amazing. So we're trying to do a little bit of that with our bobwhite quail, but it's an uphill battle and everything. We've lost a lot of habitat and everything, but nevertheless, the beauty of our golden trout, the beauty of our waters, the beauty of our mountains and everything is just, it'll touch your soul. I'm telling you, you need to go do it, and because it's really, really neat stuff. Remember the big buck contest and everything, your photos and everything, send them, please send them. Our 2024 hunting and trapping and fishing license are now on sale. You can get those and everything. Step up and get a hunting and fishing and trapping license and everything, and especially get a hunting or a fishing license and everything, because good stuff, good stuff. Like I said over and over and over, touch your soul. All you got to do is get out there and see this unbelievable state. The beauty is unsurpassed. I mean, can't be any better. Okay, thank y'all. That's all I got.
All right, thanks, Governor. We'll now go to questions from members of the media. The first today from Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, this is Charles Young with WV News. Governor, I just had a couple of questions about your appointment of Larry Pack. So you called him the interim or acting secretary. Do you plan on letting him stay in that role for a while, or will you be seeking a permanent candidate? And then also, does this transition at this point ahead of the legislative session the next fiscal year, will this impact the budget planning process at all? Thank you.
Okay, Charles, Larry will be acting an interim. He'll be on the job, for a little while. I absolutely with all certainty and everything, know in my heart that he'll do a great job. I mean, Larry's got his act together, guys. I mean, that's all there is to it. And Larry is an accountant through and through, and I think almost seamlessly, Larry will move right into that position and really help us. From the standpoint of how it's going to go in the legislative process, we needed to make this move, and we absolutely, Dave's not going to just run off and be gone forevermore. I mean, Dave will still try to, if we have a question or a problem or whatever it may be, I'm sure Dave will, step up in the evening or whatever like that and give us his best advice. But we'll be finalizing our budget in the next little while, and Larry will help in regard to that. And so I don't think we'll see any bumps in the road in this one.
All right, thanks, Charles. Next is Stephen Allen Adams with Ogden Newspapers.
Yeah, Steve Adams of Ogden Newspapers here, and I'm going to drill down a little further in that because I think there are bumps in the road going forward. Your Bureau of Medicaid Services Commissioner Cindy Bean had testified yesterday in the legislative committee that the state is going to face a $114 million deficit in the next fiscal year due to multiple factors affecting how much money, Medicaid money, the state's going to get. I know that you're looking at another raise for state employees. That's give or take about 115 to 120 million, depending on how you do it. Obviously, you've got new people coming in, day parties going out, PAC coming in, but with some of her tax revenue streams down, particularly severance tax is a good example of that. You said you're looking at a flat budget again, but are we considering perhaps the potential of reducing the next budget that's going to be presented, or are we even considering the possibility of mid-year budget cuts? I know we do have some tax revenue surplus right now. We have some unappropriated money. That's multiple questions, but try to answer which one you can. Thanks.
Well, Stephen, you know, I think the world of you and everything. I'll try to answer them all. Okay, here's the deal. First of all, and I don't say this egotistically, you know, please don't take it that way. You know, I came to you as a business guy, and I came to you with the god-awfulest mess in the history of the world. Be fair. Just be fair. Absolutely nowhere to turn. Absolutely upside down as far as, bankrupt. Honest to God, bankrupt beyond belief. Now, if I tell you I think we got this and everything, you know, I think you can take that to the bank. Now, here's the whole deal. You know, there's always going to be issues. I mean, sure, there's an issue with Medicaid, you know, and I want Brian Abraham to come on. He can give you a whole lot more insight and everything about that in a better way maybe than I can. But the net of the whole thing in regard to Medicaid is we have a backup and a way to cure this problem, and really and truly to cure it with being able to go to the feds and have them send significantly more dollars than they're doing today by just moving a fee situation around, which we can absolutely do. In other words, Stephen, you know, and again, I don't want to sound egotistical, but when I tell you something, I am telling you we can come up with all these speculations and everything. I have absolutely told all of our people over and over, we don't want to do frivolous things. We've kept an almost flat budget. We did an absolute tax break, the biggest tax break to our people in the history of the blooming universe. We've done pay raises and pay raises and pay raises, and hopefully we're going to be able to do another. But one thing we're going to do, and this is what we're going to do all the time, we're going to mind the store. We're going to watch what we do and not get out over our skis. We are absolutely going to do the right stuff. That's why I am really confident about Larry, and I can tell you it's not easy stuff. You know, this is not easy stuff. You know, you've got to be on your game. Can there be a possibility of something, you know, blowing up and everything that we absolutely don't foresee right now? Of course there are, you know, but we're doing absolutely the very best that I know we can do. And I would tell you, just this is the egotistical part, but I would tell you, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, and right now, what we're doing is working, and we want to just keep it going. We'll keep watching, and it may very well be that there's adjustments that have to be made. But jumping up and down on a soapbox and screaming and hollering, you know, about this and that and everything else may make some people feel good. You know, if the legislatures want to jump up and down and say this or that and everything else, may make them feel good and everything, but at the same time, you know, I'll promise you, down here, we keep our feet on the ground, and we keep plowing and looking right ahead and everything, and going north and everything, and that's what we're going to continue to do. Now, if we could pass to Brian. Please, Brian.
Thank you, Governor. Stephen, to answer your question a little more directly about the Medicaid issue, you've got to go back a few years and remember during COVID, the federal government opened up the Medicaid rolls to many more people. But in doing that, they provided a supplement payment. Well, that supplement is starting to come due, and in fact will come due as early as this April, and we'll lose that. So for the first time since Governor Justice has been here, there's actually going to be a deficit in the Medicaid Reserve Fund. You'll remember back past administrations, they took from the rainy day to help fill that fund. They took any kind of extra money they could find anywhere to fill that fund. They even had to make cuts to fill that fund. We have not had to put money into that fund in the entire time that Jim Justice has been your governor. So we came up with a strategic plan. We have medical care organizations that provide services to DHHR for these Medicaid services. There's a fee that they get, and it's on top of what they normally pay. We have the ability to raise that fee on their behalf. We pay them that money, then we ask the federal government for reimbursement, of which for every dollar we spend of that fee, we get back approximately 75 cents. So we think that has the opportunity to nearly, or if not completely, close that deficit. We're working with leaders in the legislature to address that. We've gotten great positive feedback thus far on that, and we think we'll manage our way through it. We also have the ability to make other strategic decisions which will influence the budget. I'll say this back to the budget generally. By what Governor Justice has done throughout his time as governor, and that is being disciplined and keeping a relatively flat budget, we can manage these kind of situations. Past administrations would always fund the government to the very penny of what they thought their revenue estimates were, and then they hoped and prayed that we'd make the number. And then, of course, any time you didn't, we had mid-year freezes, mid-year budget cuts, layoffs, etc. We've never had to do that. That's why we continue to generate surpluses, and I think today we're getting close between $450 and $500 million on the current year. So we think we'll be able to manage things going forward absolutely the way we have. Again, it's discipline and managing the affairs the way Governor has us do it. But thank you for your interest, Stephen, but I think we're going to be good going forward. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks, Stephen. Next to Brad McElhenney with West Virginia Metro News.
Hi, Governor. Hi, guys. Last week, the PEIA Finance Board did approve 10% premium increases for state employees and educators. At this point, what's your degree of confidence about the 5% pay raises that you've suggested, given the other financial pressures described in the previous question? Thank you.
Well, Brad, I'm confident, but at the same time, the legislature's got to act. From the standpoint of what I'm hopeful of in every way is that our state employees don't have to bear these increases in premiums and everything, even though we should be all aware that medical costs continue to rise. I mean, that's all there is to it. The Biden administration makes it tough, has made it tough on lots and lots of folks. I mean, for God's sakes, a living, whether it was gasoline or eggs or whatever it was, the Biden inflation, I don't know what it's, Biden economics or whatever it was, has made things really tough. I don't want things to be tougher. I mean, I don't want that at all. And I don't think we have to deliver that to our people. I don't think we have to, at this time, deliver to our people more burden. So I hope the legislature acts, and I hope they act, on a pay raise that will be, and y'all forgive me, my phone's going off, but I hope they will act on a pay raise that will absolutely offset this to our people, and but at the same time, whether it be $15 a month or it be $65 a month, that's, to a lot of folks out there that are making ends come together and everything, that's tough stuff. And so we don't want to have that happen.
All right, thank you, Brad. Next to Katie Coyne with West Virginia Watch.
Hi, Governor. Thanks for taking this today. I know myself and other members of the media have been told that there has been some sort of suggestion or directive from your office to state agencies to not speak to media without your office's approval. And even it seems that that applies to clarifying questions following a public meeting. Can you please confirm whether public officials with state agencies are allowed to talk to press without your office's approval? Or if there is some sort of policy, suggestion, whatever word you want to use for it, can you explain what exactly it entails and what the justification for it is? Thanks.
Okay, Katie, I want you to hear this loud and clear, okay? You know, first and foremost, every single employee that we have, in my opinion, needs to be fully transparent. If they choose to talk to you, that's their prerogative. From my standpoint, I know that we offered up an interview with the guy. I think your question was about jails. We offered up an interview for you to have, I think today, with Billy Marshall, and you declined. And I don't have any idea what your end goal is, but at the end of the day, there's no secrecy on my part. There's not going to ever be that, but if you have an end game it's just a gotcha moment end game and everything, from the standpoint of my folks, they're smart, they're good people and everything. And, if they say, I need to get back to you on something, you got to be respectful of that.
All right, thanks, Katie. Governor, back to you.
Okay, let me just say, again, I want to congratulate Dave Hardy and Larry Pack. I have every trust in the world that they'll do great. I want us to remember in prayer, Sandra Day O'Connor, because, her impact was phenomenal on this nation. Congratulations to the kids and everything. Remember the King Cole Highway and a bridge to nowhere that sat over there for decades in Bluefield. 4 o'clock we'll be there today. Good stuff. Congratulate Kathy. And you saw me get a little choked up, about that kid, at Pineville and all the good stuff there. Remember Sarah Alderson on the book drive stuff, and let's celebrate. Let's celebrate, $111 million, a number that, hadn't been surpassed of that in 10 plus years and everything, and building new schools, and renovating schools, and celebrate the incredible accomplishments of our DNR and our, our wildlife and everything, and the abundance that we have in this great state. It's just amazing beyond belief. But I could go on and on about that, but I just want to end with just this. We have a situation with Medicaid. It's $114 million or $119 million. We have whatever situations that come up with floods or whatever situations that come up that we got to handle, we got to deal with, don't we? This job is not just a cakewalk, but absolutely, I will promise you, and I am maybe not good at a lot of things, but I'm good at the numbers, and when I walked in this door, here's what they did. I sat right, not at this desk, it was another desk, but I had this desk made and everything, and this is my desk. But nevertheless, I sat right here, and they brought me the books, and they said, Governor, here's what we're dealing with, and it's pretty doggone tough. And I want you to hear this, and please don't click off. I want you to listen to me. Governor, we want you to know that, I know it's January, but Governor, between now and the end of our year, which ends on June the 30th, we're going to be really short. and we didn't really anticipate this. Really and true, we did all of our forecasts and everything, and Governor, we're going to be $217 million short at a time when you've got a constitutional amendment that says you have to have a balanced budget. And I said, there's no way. My God, $217 million to West Virginia is all the money in the universe. You know, there's no way. And I said, well, do you have money in the rainy day fund? Nope, we can't take that. We can't do that. And the reason we can't do that is because our bonds are right on the brink of being derated. And that's going to cost us who knows how much money. And I said, well, for God's sakes, a living, you know, what has happened here? And everything. He said, well, things are just worse than what we thought they were. But that's not the bad news, Governor. The bad news is, in your 6-year forecast and everything, the first year that we think you're going to be in office, you're going to be another $497 million upside down, in addition to the 217. But that's not all the bad news. The bad news is right behind that, the next years you're going to be $772 million upside down. And absolutely I said, well, for God's sakes, 11, we're bankrupt. There's no way around it. We are bankrupt. Now, that's where we started. Now, we can say anything in the world, but that's where Jim Justice started. Now, right behind that, then, what did we do? We just all dug in. Whether it be the Dave Hardys of the world or whomever it may be, we dug in and we started working. And literally, before you know it, things started to really move. And to stay the state, I told everybody, I told them, I said, really and truly, we need to put a stake in the sand. Education's our centerpiece. Why did I do that? We had to start on a way of changing our image. Roads to Prosperity took us there in many ways. Instant jobs. And before you know it, this state really started on a move. We didn't throw our money away. We kept a flat budget. Sure, we've got $119 million shortfall maybe in Medicaid right now. Stuff happens. I could have said something a whole lot worse than that, but stuff happens all the time. You got to tend to it, and that's what we'll do. Absolutely, we'll mind the store. Will it be perfect? No, but absolutely, we'll do our job. With that all said and everything, I appreciate your questions. Thank you so much. God bless each and every one of you. Let's celebrate a lot of goodness that's going on in the state, and let's keep it going. Crying out loud, let's keep this thing moving. Thank you all so much. Thank you. God bless.